Hey, and we're on Tournament Desert once again with NoOb BlacK as the, yellow Air Force, USA Air Force General on the top, and in the bottom, actually, dropping down that that spy drone, instead of dropping it down over here, which is a little bit more common, but as the green tank general in the bottom, we do have NaNo, and NaNo actually, lagging on the, selling off the command center, I'm assuming. Maybe NaNo's going for a third dozer? This is kind of strange to see. Anyways, NaNo and BlacK, on the other hand, going to be selling off his command center right away, dropping down that barracks, dropping down a supply center kind of far away. Some players opt to get them a little bit closer, although it makes a little less difference because of the Chinooks. But a lot of players who, play China or GLA will drop that a lot closer. I guess with the supply spy drone, there it does allow you to see expansions and also any sort of units that are moving up. But we do have missile defenders moving out, going to be taking some of these buildings and dropping down the supply centers close to the two supply docks on either side. NaNo playing a little bit more standard, going to be selling off his command center standard there, and two Chinooks for, I'm assuming, yes, each of these supply centers going to be what you would expect to see, and actually two barracks is not so much what you would expect to see with this many missile defenders dropping down the firebase, possibly going to be garrisoning it with those missile defenders. Will give a nice little bit of defense for, any sort of light attacks that come from over here. But the Gatling tank is on the move, not opting to go for the Dragon tank right away. Instead, a couple of Gatling tanks going to be sending them around the map. One on the left, maybe one in the middle, and one on the right. Did I say left over here? I did. I said left over here. One on the right side, one on the left, and then maybe two on the left instead of one up the middle. But this game is going to be getting underway as we're, a couple minutes in. And yes, missile defenders inside of fire bases on each side. It's always great when you can throw in a sniper as well to deal with infantry, but that's mostly in skirmishes or in campaign matches, as you often don't get the opportunity to use, one of your general points on snipers in online matches. And what else? Listening outposts, which, seen that before, seen mass listening outposts, that can be very effective sometimes when used properly. But we do have Humvees, missile defenders, not a combo you see ever. Actually, that's not a missile defender, that's a ranger. But, nobody ever gets Humvees and missile defenders because it's just such a bad combination. You definitely don't see people win off of that combo, but such a good combo in all honesty. Can be such a good combo, of course, can be countered fairly easily. Missile defenders going to be using their laser lock ability to take down one Gatling tank, but not a second. Instead, all of those missile defenders did get cleaned up. NaNo doing a pretty good job of taking out those missile defenders and only losing one Gatling tank, although he almost did lose that second one to that Hellfire drone. And the firebase is up and ready to start bombarding those Gatling tanks. One more does go down at the hands of the Humvee. And the other Gatling tank will be running rampant, possibly able to take out one, maybe two Chinooks. That would be a pretty good move, although the Hellfire drone is back and that Gatling tank will not get taken out, as he was able to clean up that Humvee. And now we do have more Gatling tanks, more listening outposts, although I think that is the same one. This Gatling tank on the other side, on the other hand, could move up over here and take out a Chinook. No need to, because trying to hide by that firebase, instead going to be crashing onto that dozer. And that that Gatling tank was able to get taken out by those two Humvees. And this dual barracks may come into play depending on how many missile defenders BlacK wants to put into each Humvee, and one of the medical Humvees on the move as well. And we do have a small attack force going to be met by two, wow, I was going to say two Gatling tanks, but instead 5 Gatling tanks. This attack force out of NaNo should be able to at least push back, if not clean up these Humvees. And now we're going to need some base defense, possibly some more missile defenders inside of this firebase. going to be engaging, taking out one, maybe two of the Gatling tanks. No able only to get one so far, but these Gatling tanks not doing a whole lot of damage. The ECM tank, on the other hand, is diverting missiles, but a listening outpost goes down, basically one-shotted by those Humvees, and these Humvees are being surprisingly effective. Only one has gone down. On the other hand, 3 or 4 Gatling tanks now have gone down, not to mention that that listening outpost as well. This Gatling tank getting separated. What are you doing? Back up, get out of there. No, he does lose it. NaNo was doing pretty good as he was able to take out one of those Chinooks, forcing the rebuild, which I believe that is 1,200 credits. These Chinooks, on the other hand, are going to be doing absolutely great. And supply truck count 2, and I'm assuming, yes, each of these supply docks and Overlord tanks are out. Going for nothing so far. I do not believe, no sort of upgrade quite yet, but we do have that fire base being able to rain fire, so to speak, down on these units, and that ECM tank being fairly effective, although not at that range, as it was diverting some of those missiles and saving some of those units, and the pilot from that Humvee should go ahead and get into another tank before it gets taken out. No, that pilot will get taken out. Maybe. Yes, no, I just can't tell anymore. Pilot does get taken out. Would have been useful to have in one of those Humvees. Humvees being sacrificed a little bit. 3 of them do go down for basically no gain, although he did do some significant damage to that Gatling tank. And the Overlord has gone for the Gatling cannon upgrade, and that building is now no longer usable, although it is being repaired by that dozer. The Overlord tank might move in and try and take it down. He is going to go for the civilian structure, and the tow missile has been added on to the Humvees. This structure, on the other hand, has been de-garrisoned as it is nearly destroyed. And 1, 2 Humvees, 3 Humvees go down almost instantly. One was able to escape out of there, but this Overlord tank is more than a match for quite a few Humvees, and that ECM tank doing its job, able to divert so many of those rockets from the missile defenders in that little building. And I hope I haven't been missing too much else, as I was talking quite a bit about that battle down here. And it does look like NaNo is going to be in pretty good shape, although BlacK is definitely not out of this, getting that strategy center up and running with the search and destroy initiative has been activated, and both of those missile defenders do go down. And will this dozer go down as well, then it might warrant a command center being rebuilt, as BlacK would only have one then, and the ECM tanks are going to be locking down that dozer. Not necessarily the best use of them, and the splash damage from those from stacking up units was pretty detrimental there, getting the loadout from those missile defenders, and now the missile defenders will be able to do quite a bit of damage to that Emperor tank, I guess, not the Overlord tank, but the Emperor tank. That is the tank general. And as for being the Air Force general, we haven't seen too many Air Force out of BlacK so far, although we could see some Air Force in the later games. Looks like he's just going to be mostly sticking with this missile defender Humvee, which, as I said before, is a pretty potent combo, and basically good in all stages of the games, as even if you're not directly engaging your enemy's tank force, as the Humvees aren't very good at directly engaging heavy tanks, but they are pretty good at being support and also at running around and taking out your enemy's other vehicles. And now, with the stealth carpet bomb, going to be able to take out War Factory and Supply Center, both of those supply trucks, and do severe damage to that barracks, as well as take out that ECM tank. And what do we have going on down over here? A command center, so that he can, build more stuff. And we do have this frontal assault going on, trying to focus fire down the building, which is not necessarily the best choice, as the Gatling tanks were cleaning up the army on the other side. So many dead missile defenders because they were attacking that building instead of attacking the Gatling tanks. Although, would it have come out too much different as if they hadn't been attacking the Gatling tanks, and it would have allowed those other missile defenders and the Spectre gunship on the way might be able to take out this entire airfield, as yes, the cannons are now firing, going to be able to take out that airfield, possibly do some damage to the command center if he's paying attention. No, it does look like that thing does fly away right there. That must have been only that first grade of the Spectre gunship, but these Gatling tanks are going to be able to chase off this Humvee strike force. One Humvee does go down, and another Humvee does go down from the MiGs. Humvee's forced to pull on out of there as they are getting chased out by the Gatling tanks, and Gatling tanks, a couple of them at heroic status. The ECM doing a good job of locking down some units. NaNo on top of that micro, able to use it use that microwave or that ECM tank effectively, and might even be able to take down a command center. The command center did get built there for NoOb, and NoOb, will he be able to clean up this attack force? He does have a single Humvee, not going to be enough, even with that medic Humvee there, and now Gatling tanks in yo base shooting yo Chinooks. That Chinook does in fact go down, doesn't matter too much as it wasn't doing anything, could have been put to work over here, might have sped up the gathering of resources just a little bit, possibly. Missile defenders actually able to take down one, maybe two. No, not able to get that second Gatling tank as they do both go down there, but the Gatling tank over here did get locked down by those Humvees, and the ECM tank on the other hand going to be able to lock down this Humvee. The second Humvee needs to come up here and snipe that Gatling tank, but it's not quite good enough. Yes, it is. There we go. ECM tank will get taken down. We do have small little strike force over here, more for defense than anything, and it does look like this artillery barrage might be hitting this war factory, might be going for the supply center. No, it will go for that war factory. Is it able? Yes, able to take it out. A couple of Rangers there, going to be the dead building bonus. 5 Rangers out of that building. Rangers almost worthless, and a single A-10 Warthog going to be making an attack run, possibly on this power plant, more likely on this attack, or no, on the propaganda center. A far better choice, not on the airfield. And we do have a couple of Humvees possibly going on a little bit of a strike. No, they are going to be going on the side over here, not opting to go for the supply trucks. Could, you know, inhibit the economy of NaNo, but it looks like this bunker is going to be good enough for that, and hitting both of those supply trucks just because of the stacking. Wasn't able to get that one, might be able to get this one over here, but these Humvees are really what we want to be watching with this MiG. Going to be not going to be doing basically anything, not able to even take out that supply truck. These Humvees are so far have not been doing anything. They were able to take down that dozer, which is so annoying. Might force the cancel of that propaganda center. Might go for the airfield instead, and then maybe the command center if they feel like it. That will take a little while. In the meantime, we do have the attack force actually turning around to, you know, take care of this Humvee attack force. Humvee attack force needs to either do something like move or shoot something, because they're going to get taken out by this returning attack force, by this small army from NaNo. NaNo going to be able to basically take out this attack force, especially if he's able to use his ECM tank well, diverting those rockets from the missile defenders inside of the Humvees. One of the missile defenders does get run over there, does go ahead and cancel, and another carpet bombing, going to be able to take down that supply center and not take down the barracks, not able to take down the supply trucks either, although that dozer was basically wasted money as he did not get to do anything with that dozer. What is this Ranger doing? I guess going to distract this army a little bit, allow the Humvee to get off a couple more shots and take down that barracks. That's going to be slightly annoying, although NaNo hasn't been doing a whole lot with the barracks. Didn't even capture this oil derrick, where on the other hand, this oil derrick was captured by NoOb. So that's, you know, a slight economic edge, but now we do have another Spectre gunship probably going to be going for this command center. Looks like the power plant will be the first target. The power plant and that dozer is most likely dead as well. It's a little bit difficult to tell, but that dozer is in fact dead. No way it could survive the guns of that Spectre. But going for the supply trucks, able to take down the one there, and these missile defenders going to unload and get into the civilian structure, probably the best choice there. But the listening outpost does go down, unloading the 2 tank hunters that were inside, and these mass missile defenders might be able to do a surprising amount of damage to these units. We're able to take down that heroic Gatling tank, and these other Gatling tanks going to be able to maybe clean up the missile defenders, but at what cost? The cost of their lives, as that entire attack force from NaNo did get cleaned up, and now the tank hunters taking out the missile defender's house, but the tank hunter house went down first, or I guess civilian building is the proper name for it, and now that tank hunter is going to be able to go down, but now these missile defenders are basically worthless unless they're in range of these buildings. And NaNo going to be leaving the game kind of on the downstroke there, as he basically lost his supply trucks, and NoOb has in fact been defeated as well, but he did win this game. It does look like we had an observer in that game. And go ahead and look at the resources tab. NoOb able to to collect a significant more amount of resources, an entire 10,000 resources more than his opponent, NaNo. NaNo doing a good job with even just a few Gatling tanks in the early game, able to take out 1 or 2 Chinooks with them, as well as do a fair amount of damage to NaNo's armies, and NaNo playing pretty strong, or NoOb playing pretty strong. NaNo played pretty well as well. Not too bad of a game overall. I am not familiar with these players. I do not think that they are necessarily super top ranked players, but I'm not sure, as I am not really into the Command and Conquer General 0 Hour scene all that much. So if these are top players, then you can, you know, whatever. These might be top players, they might not be. Regardless, it was a pretty good game. I hope you enjoyed it. This is Sybert, signing out.